For 3 long years, I had meticulously played a part, a role I had convinced myself I wanted. The character was Clara Vance, the quiet, gentle, and ever-accommodating wife of Julian Vance. It was a life born from an arrangement made by the older generation of our families, a pact I had naively embraced. Julian, however, had never wanted me. His heart was, and always had been, tethered to Isabel Croft, his childhood love. But our family's matriarch, a woman whose will was as unbendable as iron, vehemently disagreed with their union. She had Isabel sent abroad on a pretext, forcibly demanding that Julian marry me in her stead. In the 1,095 days that followed, Julian scarcely granted me a proper glance, let alone the warmth of a simple touch. I cannot deny my initial infatuation. His handsome, brooding looks and quiet intensity were things I mistook for profound depth. I became a love-sick fool, chasing after the echo of an affection he reserved for another woman. I cloaked myself in Isabel's perceived style-muted colors, soft silks, delicate jewelry, desperate, silent plea for him to see even a fraction of her in me. The only reward for my efforts was his sharp, cutting disdain. "Clara, it's disgusting," he had once hissed, his voice a weapon. "No matter how much you imitate her, you will never be her." To please him, I tried to please his family. I attended charity functions I despised, feigned interest in polo matches that bored me to tears, and learned to cook dishes his mother favored, only for him to never be home to eat them. I had so completely submerged myself in the role of Mrs. Vance that the woman I was 3 years ago felt like a distant stranger. Today was the anniversary of our wedding, a cruel coincidence that it was also the day Isabel was scheduled to return to the country. And so, here I was, left behind again, sitting alone at a dining table meticulously set for two. The feeling was a familiar ache, the constant reminder that I was never the one who was truly chosen. How many times must a person be abandoned before they finally understand? To underscore the depth of his indifference, a crisp manila folder had been delivered by courier that afternoon. Inside, resting on top of a single sheet of paper, were the divorce documents, signed by him 3 years ago, just waiting for my signature to finalize our end. Julian, oh Julian, how deeply must you despise me to be so cruelly efficient? Tears I had held back for years finally began to stream down my cheeks, and soft, broken sobs escaped my lips, the only sound in the cavernous, silent house. My phone buzzed, startling me. It was Maya, my best friend. "Clara, you are not going to believe this. I think I just saw your husband. He's here at the airport, and he's with Isabel Croft. Wait, I'm sending you a photo now." A moment later, an image materialized on my screen. It was a punch to the gut, stealing the air from my lungs. There was Isabel, clinging to Julian's arm, her smile a beacon of sweet, triumphant victory. And there was Julian, smiling back at Hera's soft, unguarded, genuine smile that I had never, not once, been the recipient of. The pain in my chest was sharp and physical, as if 1,000 needles were piercing my heart. "Clara, are you okay?" Maya's voice was laced with urgent concern. I took a shaky breath, but when I spoke, my own voice was eerily steady. "Maya, can you do something for me? Can you take a video? Get a little closer if you can. Just be careful they don't notice you." "Your reaction is not right," she said, her confusion evident. "The old you would have been charging over there, ready for a confrontation. Did you finally have a change of heart?" "No, that can't be possible. You were so completely into him." "Maya, I want a divorce," I said, and the words felt like unlocking a cage I hadn't realized I was in. "I want to let myself go too." There was a beat of stunned silence, followed by an explosive sigh of relief. "Seriously? You're not lying to me?" Oh, thank God. "Clara, for 3 years I have wanted to crack your skull open to see if it was filled with water. What is so great about that man? Did he put a spell on you? Chasing him like a fool. But thank goodness you finally see sense. Don't you dare change your mind in a few days, or I swear I will lose all respect for you. When you get this divorce, I am taking you out for some real fun. Okay, I'm going to follow them now. Little reporter Maya is on the case. I'll bring back the first-hand scoop. Gotta go." She hung up, and her whirlwind energy left a faint smile on my face. At least there was one person in this world who was always, unequivocally, in my corner. That was nice. Since divorce was now a certainty, I knew my first step was to go home and inform my family. I glanced at the perfect untouched meal on the table. "Nanny Wang," I called out, my voice stronger now, "you can clear the table and please tidy up the house." "Madam," she asked, her kind face etched with worry, "won't you wait any longer for the master?" "No," I said, turning decisively toward the grand staircase. "He probably won't be coming back." Upstairs, in the bedroom that had never truly felt like mine, I considered the logistics of the divorce. I probably couldn't take anything with me. In the public eye, my family, the Davenports, had strategically downsized and were no longer the formidable powerhouse they once were. The Vances would feel no obligation to be generous. It didn't matter. I didn't bring much with me when I came here, so I would leave with nothing as well. Not necessarily nothing, a small voice corrected. I had never bothered to look at the divorce agreement, always clinging to that foolish, romantic notion that even a heart of stone could be warmed if you held it long enough. I had severely overestimated my own endurance. Julian's heart wasn't stone, it was a glacier, the kind that wouldn't melt in 1,000 years. Now that my mind was set, there was no room for hesitation. The mask of Isabel had been worn for so long, I had almost forgotten the features of my own face. Just as Nanny Wang was carrying the last of the polished silverware to the kitchen, Julian's car pulled into the driveway. He walked in, his presence immediately filling the empty space. "Sir, you're back," Nanny Wang greeted him. "Where is Madam?" he asked, his gaze sweeping over the now empty dining room. "Madam waited for a very long time, but you did not return," she explained, gesturing to the bare table. "She went upstairs to rest." This was all prepared by her to celebrate your 3rd wedding anniversary. Since the master didn't come, she had us remove it. Wedding anniversary. The words hit him. He had, in fact, completely overlooked it. A strange, unsettling feeling, not quite guilt, but something adjacent to it, pricked at his conscience. He quickly dismissed it. Clara probably wouldn't mind. She was always so easygoing, and yet he couldn't shake the distinct and uncomfortable feeling that something was slipping through his fingers. He had been genuinely happy to see Isabel at the airport that afternoon, her presence a nostalgic comfort. But once they were actually together, celebrating with her friends at a surprise welcome dinner, he felt a strange sense of something missing. Isabel was still the same, Isabel from 3 years ago, the woman he remembered and liked. The dinner party was filled with their old circle, and while everyone knew he was married, they also knew he didn't love me, so the teasing was constant and thinly veiled. After the meal, he saw the string of missed calls from me on his phone. A flash of annoyance went through him, and he chose not to respond. Isabel had invited him back to her new apartment. Normally, he would have agreed without hesitation, but for some inexplicable reason, tonight he declined. Only after returning to the quiet, empty house did his heart gradually begin to calm down. He realized he'd forgotten the anniversary. He figured he could simply find some time to make it up to me, buy me a nice gift, and everything would be fine. Clara was always so easy to appease. With this reassuring thought, Julian lay down in the guest bedroom and fell asleep with a clear conscience. The next morning at the breakfast table, he offered his perfunctory apology. "Clara, I'm sorry about last night. I was delayed by some urgent work matters." "The gift is ready. My assistant will have it delivered to you shortly." "I know," was all I said, my voice indifferent. There was no further discussion. He couldn't help but glance at me a few more times during the meal, but finding nothing unusual in my placid demeanor, he went to work as usual. If I hadn't seen Isabel's triumphant social media post that morning, his lazy lie might have felt less like an insult. "After going around in circles, you find that old friends are still the best to have by your side," she had written. How nauseating. Though she didn't say it outright, every single photo she posted revealed a partial glimpse of Julian, his hand on a wine glass, the sleeve of his jacket, the back of his head. It was painfully obvious who this old friend referred to. "Nanny Wang," I announced, grabbing my purse and car keys. "Don't cook lunch for me today. I'm going back to my mother's place and won't be eating at home." "Understood, madam," she replied. Driving through the gates of my family's estate felt like taking my first full breath in 3 years. "Dear Mom, your precious daughter is back," I called out as I burst through the door. "Clara, you're back," my mother said, rushing to hug me. "Why did you suddenly come home? Did something happen?" "Can't I just come back because I missed you and Dad?" I deflected, trying to sound cheerful. "Does it have to be because of something else?" I gave birth to you, she said, her hands on my shoulders, her eyes searching mine. Don't I know your temperament? What's wrong now? My father emerged from his study, drawn by our voices. I took a deep breath, the charade falling away. Mom, Dad, I want to divorce Ethan. My father's expression hardened. Didn't I warn you back then? I told you not to marry him, but you wouldn't listen. You insisted on going down this path. I was blind, I whispered, the admission tasting like ash. Now I see clearly, Dad. All right, he said, his tone shifting from reprimand to resolve. I'll call your two brothers back home. We'll have a family meeting. No need, Dad, we don't need both of them involved. Shut up, Clara, he said, not unkindly. Listen to your father. Half an hour later, the four of us were gathered in the spacious living room. My eldest brother, David, spoke first. Big sister, since you're getting divorced, I'll return the company to you. You were the one managing it before. If you hadn't gotten married, I wouldn't have been forced to take over like a duck being herded. My second brother, Mark, immediately jumped in. Big sister, since you're divorced, does that mean I can finally settle things with Julian? I've had enough of him for a long time. Hey, I managed a small, watery smile. Wasn't this supposed to be a discussion about my divorce? Why are you two thinking about running away and beating someone up instead? My dearest eldest sister, Mark said with theatrical flair, where has your once domineering arrogance gone? With our family's financial power, we could crush the Vance family in an instant. The two of us agree that 3 years as a housewife have completely dulled your mind. If our family hadn't always kept a low profile and avoided public appearances, who would have guessed that the Davenport family, one of the two great clans of Luo City, would live so modestly? The Vance family's rapid development is entirely due to our family's support. And let's not forget, 3 years ago, you were a decisive and ruthless female CEO. Just thinking about your tormenting methods sends shivers down one's spine. Only our parents think you're so kind. You little brat, asking for trouble. My father grumbled at Mark, though his eyes were twinkling. He then turned serious. David, you start by cutting off some collaborations with the Vance family. Mark, if you're going to hit someone, don't get caught, or at least wait until after my daughter's divorce. We can't leave any leverage for the Vance family. On the other side of town, Julian was eating the lunch delivered from home. The taste was somewhat different from before. His assistant reported, Mr. Vance, I went to deliver a gift to the madam, but Nanny Wang said the madam has gone to the Davenport family's house. I left the gift with Nanny Wang. Okay, got it, Julian replied dismissively. At that moment, Isabel's message popped up. Julian, are you free tonight? To thank you for your recommendation that got me into the Sterling Group, I'd like to treat you to dinner. His secretary chimed in, Mr. Vance, tonight is your regular day to return to the old house with your wife. All right, got it, Julian said. He replied to Isabel's message. Okay, let's meet at 6:00 p.m. Then he sent a message to the contact labeled as Wife. We're going to the old house tonight. I'll be running late. You go ahead first. My phone buzzed. I replied instantly. I have already signed the divorce papers, going through the legal procedures as well. Tonight will be the last time I visit the old house. I, Clara Davenport, am about to be myself again. My driver pulled up to the Vance estate. Madam, we've arrived, he announced. I stepped out of the car. Of course I didn't bring any gifts. There was no need for that anymore. Before I even stepped inside, I overheard my sister-in-law, Victoria, complaining to her mother. Mom, I heard that Isabel is back, and she even joined the Sterling Group. She was originally meant to be my sister-in-law. It's all Clara Davenport's fault. If she hadn't brought that marriage certificate, Grandma would never have let my brother marry her. Of course, from the start, the sister-in-law she recognized was Isabel, not me, the one who took her place midway. Julian's mother didn't think much of me either. After all, I came from a modest background and couldn't offer any help to her son. Meanwhile, Isabel was, at the very least, the heir of the Croft Group. Mom, I'm here, I announced my presence. Clara, my mother-in-law began her tirade, why didn't Julian come with you? Didn't your parents teach you basic manners? You didn't even bring anything. It's been 3 years since you married into this family, and there's still no sign of a baby in your belly. The Vance family didn't marry you just to have a barren hen. Cat, got your tongue? Speak up. Now that Emily is back, she's the daughter-in-law I recognize. You'd better be sensible and divorce my son quickly. Don't hog the toilet if you can't shit. Julian's father also chimed in. Clara, you're a good girl, but you can see for yourself. It's been 3 years since you married into this family, and Julian still hasn't taken a liking to you. It's time to let go. I remained silent. Their true colors were finally showing. Just then, Julian arrived belatedly. He glanced at me, then looked at his parents, and only said one thing. It's time to eat. My last glimmer of hope was gone. Even if he had said just one word for me, I wouldn't have felt that these past 3 years were so terrible. But there was nothing. I was just a joke. No need, I said, my voice clear and strong. I've already signed the divorce papers and gone through the legal process. Whenever you're free, Julian, come with me to get the divorce certificate. What? When did I give you divorce papers? He asked, genuinely confused. You gave it to me 3 years ago, I just didn't sign it. I don't agree, Julian stammered, an inexplicable panic rising in his chest. He didn't know why, he just didn't want to. Brother, Victoria interjected, haven't you been waiting for Isabel all these 3 years? Now that she's back and Clara has agreed to the divorce, why are you against it? That's right, son, his mother urged. This is such a great opportunity. You should hurry and get divorced quickly. What are you hesitating for? I don't know. Tomorrow at 8:00 a.m., I stated, I'll be waiting for you at the entrance of the Civil Affairs Bureau. I hope you can arrive on time. As I left, he tried to grab my hand, but I dodged him. I went home and packed my things. They were pitifully few. So this was all the trace of my life here. Julian never came back that night, because Isabel contacted him again. Her social media was updated. One post from 6:00 p.m. showed her having dinner with Julian, and another from later that night revealed she was in the hospital with Julian by her side. I was never Julian's exception. Only Isabel was. What he truly wanted was only personal gain. It hurts so much. Realizing someone doesn't like you back is truly painful. The next morning, Julian still came. Whether it was his own decision or pressure from his parents, I was ultimately the first option he gave up. As soon as the two of us stepped out of the Civil Affairs Bureau, Isabel was waiting for him outside. So impatient. Clara, wait a moment, Julian started to say. Julian, you're out? Let's go, Isabel said, ignoring me completely. Without looking at them, I started walking toward my own path of recovery. Maya, I said into my phone, I'm finally free, but I'm also heartbroken. Come out and drink with me. Wait for me, I'll be right there. That night, at the bar, I changed out of the clothes I wore at the Vance house. To hell with being the obedient daughter-in-law. Now, this version of Maine, a red dress, with big wavy hair and alluring makeup, this Clara is the real me. Clara, congratulations on regaining your single life. Maya cheered. To celebrate your escape from the misery of marriage, I've ordered male models for you, 10 of them. Sleep with whichever one you like. Aren't I the best sister? With a dazed look in my eyes, I leaned forward, feeling one's abs and pinching another's pecs, but I wasn't quite satisfied. I'm going outside to pick, I said, then walked out of the private room with my glass in hand. Before I could get far, I bumped into a group of people coming my way and collided with the leader, dropping my glass to the floor. Huh, that hurts. I slurred. Who are you? But you've got a nice figure. I like it. I reached out to touch his chest, then looked up. Why did this person look so pissed off? And he looked just like our family's rival, Leo Sterling. But since you're good looking, I won't make a fuss. I spoke domineeringly. Spend the night with me, name your price. My wandering hand was caught and a pleasant voice sounded. Are you sure? Of course. Why are you so nagging? So noisy. I stood on tiptoe and kissed his lips directly. Maya gasped, but she was silenced by Leo's glare. The people following him behind, seeing their CEO being disrespected, didn't dare to make a sound. They all lowered their heads like ostriches, afraid their CEO might notice them. After kissing for a while and getting no reaction from Leo, I bluntly said, Are you not up to it? Such a handsome face. What a waste. Leo pulled me into his arms, lifted me up, and whispered by my ear, You'll find out soon enough whether I can or not. The words were directed at Maya. I'm taking this person with me. It left no room for refusal. All of you disperse and go back. We'll discuss the rest when I return to the company tomorrow. When I was taken back to Leo's apartment, I felt even dizzier. but I still managed to whisper to the person on top of me, "Be gentle." It's my first time sleeping with someone. I think I even made him laugh in frustration. The hangover was truly awful. My head was pounding. Where am I? As my consciousness returned, I vaguely remembered sleeping with a man last night. "You seemed quite bold yesterday, even flirting with people, Clara," a voice said in the dark bedroom. The sudden sound made me jump. As the bedroom light turned on, I finally saw the person beside me clearly. "Leo Sterling? Why is it you? Who else were you expecting if not me?" "Hey, would you believe me if I said it was all a misunderstanding yesterday? What do you think? Who was the one acting like a pervert last night, touching me all over? Look at me, do I have a single spot left untouched? The great CEO Leo was taken advantage of. What do you have to say for yourself?" "Well, let me just say something. I suffered too, okay? It was my first time, and besides, I paid for it." "Do you think I need your money? So, what do you want? Me to take responsibility for you? I just got divorced, and now getting married again? What kind of nonsense is that?" "Clara, you're still as annoying as ever," Leo said before getting out of bed. What did he mean? As members of the two major families in Luo City, we've known each other since childhood, but no one knew my identity. He, on the other hand, was too good-looking and attracted too much attention, so his identity was exposed. He went abroad for college while I stayed with my parents. I think he sent a gift when I got married. It was also because of the Sterling family's gift, giving that people in the circle assumed the Vance family had connections with them, which opened up the market for them. Only I knew those gifts were specifically meant for me. Before I could dwell on it further, Maya called, "Hey Clara, are you okay?" "Maya, why didn't you stop me yesterday?" "Clara, that was Leo Sterling. I didn't dare to stop you, and I couldn't have even if I tried. How are you feeling now?" "What can I say? I've been taken advantage of completely. I'll tell you when I have time. I've got something to deal with right now. Gotta go." After hanging up, I faced Leo again. "I never thought someone with your personality would willingly be a housewife for 3 years. Not just you didn't expect it, I never imagined it myself." "And now, what are you thinking?" "I want to be the president of Davenport again, and I'll take back everything that the Vance family has gained from us over the years. After all, I was never a good person." "How about playing a bigger game? Get engaged to me. The titles of the fiancé of the Sterling Group's president and the president of Davenport would be enough for you to dominate the business world." "Leo, you don't actually like me, do you? Trying every trick to get me to marry you?" "You really are quite slow," he replied. In the end, I agreed. It sounded quite fun, didn't it? Because President Sterling was getting engaged, the Vances were also on the guest list. Since it wasn't my turn to appear yet, I arrived a bit late and just happened to run into Julian and the others. Before I could speak, Victoria cut in directly. "Clara, what are you doing here?" "This is President Sterling's engagement banquet. Someone of your status has no place here. I get it, you must be here to ambush my brother, right? Let me tell you, don't even dream about it. He's about to get engaged to Emily. Give it up already. Is there any chance I might be Leo Sterling's fiancé?" Did you hear that? This Clara must be out of her mind, claiming to be CEO Sterling's fiancé. She's probably lost her sanity. I ignored them and walked away directly. However, Isabel wouldn't let it go either, insisting on pushing herself forward. "Clara, 3 years ago, you stole my position as Mrs. Vance. If it weren't for Grandma Vance, why would I have stayed abroad for 3 years? Now that you're divorced from Julian, be sensible and stop clinging to him." Before I could reply, Julian caught up with me again. "Clara, how have you been lately? Is there something you need, Mr. Vance?" I regret it. After you left, I realized I still have feelings for you. Can we remarry?" In the past, hearing Julian say this would have made me very happy, but now it's impossible. I hope Mr. Vance can respect himself. "Mr. Sterling is here, let's go greet him," someone said nearby. Meanwhile, Isabel glared at me fiercely, then turned around with a bright smile. I never noticed before how quickly she can change her expression. "Sis, why are you here? I've been looking for you everywhere. Hurry up, you're about to go on stage soon," my brother Mark said, rushing over. "My identity hasn't been revealed, right?" "No, no one outside knows who's going to be engaged to President Sterling. They don't even know which family it is." "Good, otherwise it wouldn't be fun later." "Welcome, everyone, to my son's engagement banquet," Leo's father announced. I hope you all enjoy the food and have a great time. Now, let's welcome our main characters to the stage. Leo held my hand as we slowly descended the stairs. When everyone got a clear look at the future, Mrs. Sterling, many were shocked. If this shocks you, just wait, there's more to come. How is this possible? Mom, that's Clara, right? She's really the CEO's fiancée? Victoria said, shaking her head in disbelief. Those who knew about my relationship with Julian were all staring at him in utter confusion. Isn't this Clara Vance? How did she become CEO Sterling's fiancée? Looking at Isabel's jealous expression below and Julian's furious face, the taste of revenge was truly delightful. Everyone, Leo said into the microphone. My fiancée had some bad experiences with people before, and it wasn't easy for her to finally choose me. Please don't make things difficult for her. Leo was standing up for me, a feeling I've never experienced before, and it was quite nice. With President Sterling speaking so plainly, anyone who didn't understand his words was just asking for trouble. Whether intentional or not, Leo specifically pulled me over to Julian's side. Clara, say hello. You divorced me because you climbed onto the Sterling family's big tree, right? You found a better option, so you threw me away, Julian hissed. His mother tried to pull him aside to shut him up, but the worked-up Julian wouldn't consider any of that. Isn't it obvious? Someone who's richer than you, more handsome than you, and better in bed? Any fool would know who to choose. Oh, I forgot, you've never touched me. Besides, we're already divorced. I'm free to marry whoever I want, and you have no right to interfere. You? Clara, I never realized how sharp your tongue was before. Now you know. Fiancé, I don't like them being here. Could you please ask them to leave? Of course, anything for you. From now on, the Sterling Group's business invitations will exclude the Vance family, and all ongoing projects with the Vance family will be terminated. Are you satisfied with this outcome? Satisfied? I'm absolutely thrilled. It wasn't until this moment that Julian finally came to his senses. Clara was no longer someone he could treat casually. President Sterling, let me explain, I was just… Before he could finish speaking, they had already been escorted out of the banquet. Being kicked out of the Sterling family's banquet likely meant no one in Luo City would want to collaborate with the Vance family anymore. Julian, the real show is yet to come. After the engagement ceremony concluded, I began taking over the Davenport family business. David was overjoyed, while Mark finally got his wish to beat up Julian, metaphorically speaking. As for the Vance family, David had previously arranged a connection, stating that as long as they could secure the bidding project in the Southern District, Davenport would establish a cooperative relationship with them. Having lost the Sterling family as their backer, Davenport was their only way out, so they had no choice but to give it their all. However, for the Southern District bidding project, the Vance family would have to invest their entire fortune to pull it off. It all depended on Julian's choice now. The day of the bidding soon arrived. As Leo's fiancé, I accompanied him and ran into Julian, who was also there to bid. It seemed he still had some lingering feelings for me. I had no time to dwell on that. I was waiting to see the outcome. To make the setup more convincing, Leo deliberately drove up the price, and the Davenport family followed suit. By the end, the project's bid had far exceeded its estimated value. The Davenport family withdrew, and just as the Sterling family was about to secure the deal, Julian stepped in. Whether as a stepping stone to climb the Davenport family tree or to compete with Leo, Julian is a man. He definitely wouldn't admit to being inferior. I smiled at Leo. Success. Leo was called away for something, so I waited for him at the door and ran into Julian, who had won the bid. Clara, what does having the Sterling family get you? Soon I'll be collaborating with the Davenports. It's not too late for you to regret it now. Which dog forgot to wipe after eating shit and now tries to rub against everyone it sees? Clara, you'll regret this. Just wait and see. How blind was I back then to fall for such a thing? I couldn't wait to see his reaction when he found out I'm the CEO of Davenport Corporation. The day of the Davenport corporate banquet arrived. President, Mr. Vance is visiting and currently waiting in the reception room. Just tell him I'm not here. Give him an invitation for tonight's event where Davenport's president will be appearing, and say we can talk more then. That evening, the banquet hall was buzzing. This Davenport family head has never been seen in the industry before, but now they're finally about to make an appearance. Indeed, the two old money families of Luo City, no one even knows if the Davenport head is a man or a woman. We'll find out soon. Julian, are you sure Davenport will definitely side with us? Isabel was very anxious. Because of me, she was fired by the Sterling family, and now the only one she could cling to was Julian. I have the South City project in hand. This will be my greeting gift to the Davenport family. There won't be any issues. During the gap in their conversation, Leo and I arrived. Because of my title as Leo's fiancé, I attracted a lot of attention. Of course, the most intense gaze was naturally Isabel's. After all, I had obtained everything she had ever dreamed of. Julian had never seen such a dazzling Clara before and was momentarily entranced. All of this should have been his. Welcome everyone to the Davenport Group's banquet. I know many of you are here to catch a glimpse of our CEO, so without further ado, let's welcome our CEO, Clara Davenport, to the stage. Hello everyone, I said, stepping into the spotlight. I am the Davenport Group's CEO, Clara. I believe many of you already know me, so I won't introduce myself further. I hope everyone who came today enjoys the food and has a great time. Thank you. While I was speaking, Julian was frozen in place, his mind filled with only 2 words. I'm done. No wonder they wouldn't let me meet her before. Why did it have to be at this banquet? Why did Clara leave with nothing after our divorce? So she's the Davenport Group CEO. Isabel was also stunned. She never expected my true identity to be so formidable. Julian ultimately mustered the courage to step forward and speak. Clara, Mr. Vance, you'd better address me as Miss Davenport, or my fiancé might get jealous. We really have no chance anymore, do we? You must know by now that it was I who initially leaked the information to you. From my engagement to revealing my identity to you now, it was all part of my plan, all to push you into a deadlock. Clara, do you really hate me this much? I didn't give you any chances. It was all up to how you played your cards. The outcome was, as I expected. Julian could have weathered this crisis if he had managed things well, but Isabel embezzled company funds without authorization, causing the project's cash flow to collapse. The Vance company suffered severe losses and ultimately went bankrupt. As for Isabel, she had already accumulated massive, high-interest loans before returning to the country. The destitute Isabel blamed all the faults on me and tried to run me over in the underground parking lot. Fortunately, I was lucky to survive, though I had to stay in the hospital for half a month, during which Leo took care of me the entire time. I looked at Leo peeling an apple and felt the urge to tease him. Leo, you really do like me, but when did you start having these feelings for me? I had no idea. Tell me, I want to hear it. It's a secret. I can't say, he said, smiling as he looked at me, acting spoiled in the hospital bed, still the same as when we were kids. After I was discharged from the hospital, both families began discussing the wedding date, which was set for National Day itself. I wore a custom-made wedding dress and joyfully married the man who had loved me for so long. The wedding was broadcast live. He couldn't wait for the whole world to know I was his. As for Emily, she was imprisoned for attempted murder, and Leo made sure she received special attention inside. The Smith family also relocated entirely. As for Julian's family, they're probably living a modest life in some remote corner, but what does that have to do with me? After all, my wonderful life has only just begun.